So Donald Trump was interviewed on 60 Minutes last night. We showed a piece of that interview in our story about Saudi Arabia and the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. But I want to talk in general about this interview. 60 Minutes is a program that's been around for 50 years. They've done everything: interviews with presidents, coverage of war zones, celebrity stories, investigative takedowns of scams of all sorts, coverage of political campaigns. And we don't have to like every story that 60 Minutes has done. We don't have to like every journalist or correspondent who works on 60 Minutes. But one of the things on 60 Minutes is that we expect the program will be taken seriously by the guests. And I don't mean we respect and bow at every question that's asked by Scott Pelley or Leslie Stahl or whoever. We still apply the same criticisms to 60 Minutes that we do to any media program. But we expect the interviewee to take it seriously and at least respect that 60 Minutes does their homework. They take stories seriously. They put resources behind what they do. Gets us to last night. Donald Trump sat down with Leslie Stahl and made a mockery, not only of the office of the presidency by lying and distorting and avoiding, but made a mockery of the institution of journalism, which he probably relishes doing, actually. And as a result, he continues to prove that there is this downfall of basic decorum and decency in the United States, which truly makes us look like morons around the world. And I want to look at some of the key moments with you. Donald Trump claimed that he got Brett Kavanaugh confirmed by making fun of sexual assault victim Christine Blasey Ford, and that it doesn't matter what happened because it worked and got Kavanaugh on the court. Take a look at this.
You go out and you go to Mississippi.
The famous Mississippi speech.
I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
And you mimicked Professor Blasey Ford. You mimicked her.
Had I not made that speech, we would not have won. I was just saying she didn't seem to know anything.
No,
and you're trying to destroy a life of a man who has been extraordinary.
Why did you have to make fun of her?
I didn't really make fun.
Well, they were laughing.
What I said is the person that we're talking about didn't know the year, the time, the place.
Professor Blasey Ford got before the Senate and was asked, what's the worst moment? And she said, when the two boys laughed at me, at my expense.
Okay.
And then I watched you mimic her, and thousands of people were laughing at her.
They can do what they, I will tell you, the way now Justice Kavanaugh was treated has become a big factor in the midterms. Have you seen what's gone on with the polls?
But did you have to?
Well, I think she was treated with great respect. I'll be honest.
But do you think
there
you
are those that
treated
think
her
she
with,
shouldn't have been?
Do you think you treated her with great respect?
I think so, yeah, I did.
But you seem to be saying that she lied.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to get into it because we won. It doesn't matter.
Consider the circular reasoning. He made fun of her because otherwise they would have lost, but he's not going to talk about making fun of her because they won, which he says is because he made fun of her. This is the type of logic you expect your ignorant uncle at Thanksgiving to use, not the president of the United States on 60 Minutes. Here was a really strange moment. And to Leslie Stahl's credit, she didn't throw all softballs at Trump, only some softballs. One softball was, what's the biggest surprise from being president? And what have you learned as being president? Total softball question. Trump seems unable to seriously reflect on the world, and he concocts some story about what he was shocked by is how dishonest the media is and how he's just done the best out of anybody who's been president.
What's the biggest surprise? And what have you learned since you've been president?
Okay, so I always used to say the toughest people are Manhattan real estate guys and blah, blah. Now I say they're babies.
Who's
They're
the
babies,
toughest?
the political people. This is the most deceptive, vicious world. It is vicious, it's full of lies, deceit, and deception. You make a deal with somebody and it's like making a deal with that table.
Give me an example.
Well, I don't want to give you an example. I'm not looking at. In the meantime, nobody's been able to do what I've been able to do.
Right.
Remember that. When you look at taxes, you look at regulations, you look at making deals with other countries, nobody's been able to do anything like this. Actually, most people didn't even try because they knew they didn't have the ability to do it. But It's a very deceptive world. The other thing I've really learned is I never knew how dishonest the media was.
So it's a softball. What's been the biggest surprise? What's been difficult? His answer is, I was surprised at how I've been able to do things no other president has been able to do, is effectively what he's saying by saying he's done things nobody else has done. And he was surprised by how dishonest the media was. Then we get into Russia, okay? And to Leslie Stahl's credit, this was not a softball. She really tried on Russia. So this one we want to pay close attention to. Let's see how it starts on Russia, okay?
People don't understand why you never have a harsh word for Vladimir Putin.
Okay, you ready?
I don't understand.
You don't know what I talked about with Putin in the meeting prior to the
No,
press
I mean
conference?
publicly. You never say anything harsh
Excuse
about
me,
him
I
publicly.
didn't. I'm the one that gave Ukraine offensive weapons and tank killers. Obama didn't. You know what he sent? He sent pillows and blankets. I'm the one, and he's the one that gave away a part of Ukraine, where Russia now has their
No, I
submarine.
mean him personally. Vladimir Putin.
I think I'm very tough with him personally. I had a meeting with him, the two of us.
Yeah.
It was a very tough meeting, and it was a very good meeting.
So it's important to notice here that he said nothing. He said, well, first he answered about giving Ukraine stuff. And then when Leslie Stahl presses him, he says, we had a tough meeting and we had a strong meeting. Let's continue, because now we get into election interference, and here it gets really interesting. Pay attention closely to what Trump says.
Do you agree that Vladimir Putin is involved in assassinations, in poisonings?
Probably he is, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't...
Probably?
Probably, but I rely on them. It's not in our country.
Okay, why not? They shouldn't do it. This is a terrible thing.
Of course they shouldn't do it. Okay, that's the only
Do
collusion.
you believe that the Russians interfered in the 2016 campaign, election? Our
Well,
election?
they meddled, but I think China meddled too.
They did meddle, and so did China. Minimize and distract. It was meddling, not interference, and it's the exact same thing that China did. Well, that's not what our intelligence agencies are saying. And as this part of the interview continues, you'll notice him do the same thing over and over, which is interrupt the full question so the viewer doesn't even hear the full question, and then introduce some kind of unrelated information and then conflate it with the actual issue.
Why do you say China meddled
and you want to
too?
know something?
Why do you
Leslie?
say China? Why don't you
Let
just
me
say
ask
the
you.
Russians meddled?
Because I think China meddled also. And I think, frankly, China
This is
a
amazing.
bigger problem.
You're diverting the whole Russian
I'm
thing.
not doing
You
anything.
are, you
I'm
are.
saying Russia, but I'm also saying China.
This is how it works. Sort of deny, sort of say yes, deflect, conflate, confuse, and then if you need to, you attack the interviewer. And then this is where it really becomes embarrassing. Trump said during like what's called, I think they're not overtime, 60 minutes extra or something like that the Federal Reserve thinks that our economy is too good. Did you know that? The economy is too strong right now, and the Federal Reserve needs to make it not as strong.
People are saying one of the reasons the stock market plunged
No,
this
it's-
week
it has
was
nothing to
because
do
of
with
the China tariffs.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's peanuts.
Well,
the
that's what-
reason is interest rates have gone up because our Federal Reserve
But
is
also China.
raising rates too fast because they think our economy is too good. And I say, I don't want you to, every time we announce a good quarter, you have to raise interest rates. I don't want that. I'm very unhappy with the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, but they're independent. You're unhappy.
They're independent, so they do what they are. I point a
Right.
man, and I'm so far disappointed. Maybe someday I'll think he's the greatest. But right now, I'm very
But
disappointed.
your hands are tied, right?
Yeah, it's an independent agency. I appoint him, and I happen to like low interest rates. You want to know the truth. He sees our economy as being so strong, so powerful, that he keeps raising interest rates. I don't like that.
That's right. The economy is too good. And then now let's go to layer two of this, which is, all right, Leslie Stahl did an okay job here. Trump's the embarrassment. But if you look at the comments on these videos from the interview on YouTube, this is the type of thing you see from Trumpists. And this explains why Trump has a nearly 40% approval rating and could win re-election. Choice comments. Stahl? Is that short for Stalin? Sounds like this interviewer tries to catch President Trump, but the president wins. He's defying her evil questions. If that's your view, you re-elect Trump. Another comment from YouTube about this interview. I don't believe in violence, but this is why women are not believed. Listen to this woman. What a disgrace to quote journalism. And yet another example, and there are many of these. This dumb blonde kept trying to trick him, guilt him, trap him, didn't work. This is why you've got to vote in 3 weeks and why you must vote in 2020. The world is laughing, and nearly 40% of the country says, I approve of this man. I approve of the job that he is doing. We're in real trouble if we don't all get out there and vote. Quick break, back after this. One of today's sponsors is Skillshare, which is an amazing online learning community that offers thousands of high-quality classes on almost any topic. The first 500 people who click the link under this video will get 2 entire months of totally free access to every single class offered by Skillshare. They've got classes on everything from design, video editing, photography, business, technology, cooking, meditation, even classes on personal productivity. I know you'll be able to find something on Skillshare that fascinates you, or even something that will help you in your everyday life. Classes are taught by real people who care about what they're teaching. I just took a really great class on more advanced video editing techniques. The David Pakman Show is giving you 2 months of free access to every class they offer when you click the link under this video. Think about everything you'll have at your fingertips for 2 whole months, totally free, hard to beat. And after that, if you like it, you can keep access to every class on Skillshare for under $10 a month, one of the most affordable learning platforms out there. Just click the link under this video to redeem your 2 free months of Skillshare, but hurry, it's only available to the first 500 who sign up.